Now, today's episode is a little bit different, and honestly, these are some of my favourite ones to do because we're sitting down with someone who's right at the heart of the crypto industry. We're joined by Nathan Hill, CEO of the Crypto Magazine, which is one of the largest crypto publications in the world, reaching millions of readers across the UK, the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. In this episode, we're going to go deep into Nathan's story, how he got into crypto, how he built something at scale in this space, what really goes on behind the scenes in crypto media, and what he's seeing right now that most people aren't. So if you've ever wondered how the information you consume in crypto is created, or what it takes to build a global brand in this industry, this one is going to be a fascinating one. Right, let's get into it.
The sponsor for today's video is the Crypto Wolfpack. The Wolfpack is a crypto and trading community. Inside there, you get daily live streams, education, trade signals, and most of all, the community. Crypto can be a lonely space unless you're lucky enough to have your best friend into crypto. So no need to do it alone. Come and join the Crypto Wolfpack. You can join by heading over to cryptowolfpack.co.uk or by clicking the link in the description.
Right, Nathan, welcome to the podcast. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I like what you've done with the place.
Okay, let's go back to the beginning. What were you doing before you were in crypto?
Oh, blimey, what wasn't I doing? I mean, typically I'm a marketing and business consultant.
Yeah.
I've worked in various industries, from franchise marketing, real estate. I've had toy stores, retail outlets, wholesale companies. At one stage I was running a dating agency.
Wow.
But my core business is marketing,
Yeah.
media, and business consultancy. I run the business-to-business department for Rupert Murdoch for News International
Okay.
for three and a half years at Wapping in London.
So was that your first exposure into media?
Yeah, really. I mean, I was quite young when I'd done it, to tell you the truth. I was the youngest person to ever hold that role.
Awesome, congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was 18, 19.
Wow.
So, I mean, yeah, that was, they'd poached me from an estate agent that I was working at the time. And I sold one of the senior managers a house.
Yeah.
And he came in and said, "Have you ever thought of media?" And I went, "No." He said,
Yeah.
"Well, double your wages." I said, "Well, I'm thinking."
That's a game changer. Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, that was my first entry.
So where did crypto come into this?
Now you're asking. I actually, and I was telling you, mate, when we first met up, I got into crypto to prove a friend of mine wrong.
Okay.
I was running a number of estate agents at the time.
Yeah.
And he kept on going on at me saying, "Look, with your marketing skills, you've really got to get into this industry. There's a big gap. No one knows what they're doing. It's full of amazing techies.
Yeah.
It's full of people that really know how to build, but no one knows how to scale this and take this out to the masses.
And to communicate with people that aren't techie. Yeah,
exactly. And that was confusing to me, because I'm thinking, how can you set up... I was looking at this as like a business.
Yeah.
And a lot of projects don't.
Because they want to create their project.
They're passionate about the creation of the project,
rather
not
than
about the marketing of it. Yeah,
and I was thinking, how can anyone have these businesses, as I was looking at, and thinking, turning over multiple millions and not even understand marketing, and have no one in their team that understands marketing?
Yeah.
Marketing in this space is just a whole different ball game.
It's like the Wild West.
In the real world, yeah. But I mean, I got in and I said to him, "Look," he showed me how to set up a Telegram. Okay. That's how little I knew. He talked me through how to set up a wallet, and I said, "Okay." He said, "I'll tell you some tokens to buy." I said, "No. What I'm going to do, I'm going to find a token, the one that I feel just has no chance at all.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have a look and see what I can do with it on my own." And that's what I'd done. And he said, "Don't put in what you're not willing to lose." But because I thought it was just a farce, it was that thing, I'm not putting my money into something that doesn't exist. I'm one of the converted. And I put $60 in, and within 2 weeks, I think I threw about $200 at just expenses. and I'd 100x'd the token.
Wow.
And then the owners of that token reached out and went, hang about, who are you? And how much have you got involved in this? And why are you doing this?
Yeah.
They thought I'd gone out and bought like 50, 60 grand and I'm ready to dump.
Okay, yeah.
They were getting panicky.
Right.
And it was a German team, completely anonymous, but we had conversations.
Yeah.
And then when we got talking, they said, would you take over our marketing? Then they gave me a 20,000 a week budget.
Wow.
And then I 1,000 extra project 4 weeks later.
Wow.
And then suddenly, I mean, that's where my journey began, because then I started.
Was that it? From that moment, did you realise at that moment that there's a space for me here, and that's it? I'm in.
Took me 2 weeks. To realise I sold all of my real world companies, moved away from everything, and said, "This is me now."
Yeah.
Wow.
Full time. Within 2 weeks, I made the decision.
Yeah.
The wife was a tad panicky. Going, are you sure?
Yeah.
And I'm going, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
And I spoke to an old contact of mine, Colin, who's my business partner, and said, look, I think I'm going to need some support here. He's got a great media and marketing background. So I said, look, come in, let's do this together. We'll go 50-50. And he done the same.
Wow.
Sold all of his real world businesses, and that was us within a month.
So that was the marketing section of what you were doing. But what made you think combining the journalism side into crypto? How did that come about?
Okay, well, that was born from the marketing, really.
Yeah.
One thing that I realised very, very quickly was marketing in this space, about 90% of what I was spending of these projects' budgets was dead. It was attracting bots. It was botted Telegram numbers, botted YouTube views, botted Twitter numbers. It was even back then when you had like Coin Sniper and things like this. I'm going back 2020, 2021. It was botted votes. It was, you could buy them. And I'm thinking, you're wasting 90% of a client's budget on nothing. And they're just numbers for the sake of having numbers.
Didn't make sense to you,
So people looked at it and went, oh, wow, that's good. But if you're not reaching anyone, it's never going to work.
Yeah, there's no return on your investment. Yeah.
So I thought, how can we reach real people? How will we ever know they're not bots? Even down to booking banner ads with certain
because they're getting their botted as well. Yeah, 100%.
If you're paying per click, trust me, they've got mechanisms that will just charge you a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we said, how do we do this? And I was speaking to Colin, and he said, well, look, we both understand publishing. Why not a printed magazine?
Okay.
And we was in two minds, because print media is dead. People consume their media online.
Yeah.
But I kind of put my business consultancy hat on and thought, because all you do as a consultant is you solve problems.
Yeah.
You go, well, is this going to be the same as every other print media? Because when you search online, especially in the crypto space, in a space where everyone says it's fake or you can get scammed, what's real, what's not real?
Yeah.
What we found is actually people don't trust what they see online.
Yeah.
And you hear it all the time, do your own research.
Yeah. But how do you do that in a tangible way?
But how do you do it and not know that what you're researching, is that real or is it not real? So we thought, actually, this could really work.
Yeah.
So by producing a physical publication that's available in brands that you trust, in your Tesco's, your Barnes & Noble, your Walmart, 7-Eleven, WH Smith's, you instantly trust, because it's in a store that you trust.
Well, it's a physical thing, isn't it?
You're talking about
the distrust of this world of things that don't exist. All of a sudden, they've got a real tangible thing in their hand, in a place where they go, where they trust what's there.
Yeah.
I get it. And I never really thought of it like that. But
everyone laughed, and they did. When I say I'm producing a magazine, do you know what print media is down? I said, no, I understand that. I'm not doing this blind. I know the industry. But this is an industry that is already digital. People want
something that's
want something that's not digital.
Yeah.
Something that you can touch in a world where everyone says nothing exists. So that kind of, it started off as a way of actually being able to market projects. And we know a bot doesn't walk into Walmart
Yeah.
and spend $15 on a magazine.
Yeah.
So we actually know the magazines that are going out
It's humans.
are going to real people.
Yeah.
And I've chosen to, I want that, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
Completely. And we're such a niche market. It's not as if you've just got some random saying, "Oh, I'll see what that's like."
Yeah.
You wouldn't buy a crypto magazine unless you was interested in crypto.
if you don't know anything about crypto, yeah.
Exactly. So, and we found that we started getting emails on issue 1. We outsold at the newsstand. We outsold Forbes and Entrepreneur.
Wow.
And we are a specialist title.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be outselling on issue 1 with zero real marketing. We shouldn't be outselling major titles like this.
No.
And then, of course, you can imagine in the office, kind of, when we got these figures, we're like, oh, that's it, we've done it.
Yeah,
Like
crack this.
Why has no one done this before?
Yeah.
And even when and I explained this to you, sorry, even when we was looking at the name, we was looking at the ISSN number, which is a number you have to register to actually be available in stores. And I said to our broker, I said, what names can we have? He said, whatever name you want. There are no
There's
generic
no magazines in
crypto
the space.
magazines.
Yeah, mad.
He said, so we went, let's just call it the crypto magazine.
Well, people know what they're buying then,
sense.
don't they? Yeah. It's all there. It's
But
quite
we went
clear.
through that when we were doing the podcast. And
Yeah.
we said, what does our niche want to be? Well, we realised there was a gap in the market for the UK kind of podcast, yeah? And we want to be, it's about crypto. Well, surely the UK crypto podcast doesn't.
Yeah.
Somebody's taken that. And I was like, okay, the web address is available.
Yeah.
The X is available. The TikTok's available.
Yeah.
The YouTube's available. I'm like, what?
How did that happen?
It didn't make sense
Yeah.
to me. So I know how that feels because we've been there with that. Where
Yeah.
you're like, how has nobody took it?
Well, when you told me, I was like, surely not. Like, you've got a .net or something.
I bought them all. I bought the UK Crypto Podcast, everything I bought.
So you felt like you cracked the matrix on publication 1, and then it all went uphill from there?
Yeah, it just went crazy. Financially, we made a bit of a bad move, if you like, because I take our responsibility to our readers really seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, incredibly seriously. We're not talking about a music magazine, this is a good band. We're talking about something where people may take what we say literally and potentially put in life savings as
Yeah.
much as we say, do not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will. I hear you.
And you're playing with lives. So we actually rejected advertising wise, and that's how we generate our income. We actually rejected about 95% of people that applied to be in the magazine.
Right.
Just because there's a red flag.
Yeah.
If they won't get on a phone call with me, we got a funny story about phone calls. I mean, if they won't get on the phone, that's a red flag to me. Why won't you jump on the phone call with me? What is there to worry about?
Yeah.
And a number of other things that I'll look for.
Because your concern before you set up the magazine was what is authentic in this space, and then now you feel like you've got an obligation to make sure what you're putting out in the magazine is authentic in this space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It started as a marketing platform, if you like, but it's evolved into a different beast. It's evolved into... we're receiving emails from people saying, I've just made my first crypto investment and I really understand this now because I read this article on what is blockchain.
Yeah.
Or I've read this art on what is a wallet, how to set up these different types of wallets.
Yeah.
And it's a good feeling because as a creator point of view, obviously I have that same kind of feedback and it's a nice feeling when you go, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
You go, wow.
They took it, they absorbed it, they did it, and they've made some money, and it's a nice feeling, isn't it?
And again, there's no better feeling to go, I've really helped someone out. Now, we all know, I've had this conversation with so many other people where they go, do you know, I just don't tell friends and family about different tokens anymore because I have done. And of course, the chance at the time that you are telling that person, you've probably already made money because you want to make sure you make money before you tell anyone.
Yeah.
But then by that time, you're probably telling them to buy the top.
Yeah,
it's too late.
Without even realising it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so many different variables. But, I mean, the magazine itself, readership-wise, went on strength to strength.
Yeah.
We've got... our last estimate was just short of 700,000 readers globally.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's good numbers, isn't it?
And you go, they're real people.
Yeah.
They're real people.
Do you know what? And I think those 700, can I just talk about the number a second? So for me, obviously, I do numbers because of social media. It's how we quantify reach, if you like. It's called reach, isn't it? And actually, when you think about it, there's a big difference between getting 700,000 views across, say, YouTube and TikTok, and getting 700,000 people to physically get in the car, drive to a store, WH Smith's or Walmart or whatever it is in their country, go into the store, then look for it on a shelf, then pick it up, then queue at the till, then pay, and that is one of your numbers. That is a much harder statistic to achieve than it is for me to go and put a video out and go and bang out 50,000 views in one video or whatever it will be. Right. So actually, I think that number is actually really impressive.
It's incredibly impressive,
especially in a world and a niche where everything's digital.
Absolutely.
Everything is digital.
Yeah, because you're changing that field, aren't you?
It's not only the niche. I mean, print media is dead. Every month, numbers go down. People don't get your newspaper on your doorstep anymore. So to have a title where our numbers are going up is, to us, it's fantastic.
How do you guys manage that kind of scale? Like that must be tough. You've got thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of readers across multiple countries. Is logistics? Is it difficult?
We're lucky. We use we have a broker who manages all of our distribution.
Awesome.
So we print in the UK.
Yeah.
This then goes out to the distribution centre. He then manages the countries it goes to.
Amazing.
And he manages where it goes, and it then gets distributed to stores from there. So
yeah, that's awesome.
It's not actually that difficult from my end anyway. But we pay someone to handle that. So
So you currently are around 750,000 readership. Are you
per edition?
Per edition, but I'm assuming you're looking to scale that up. Is that the vision? Is this the growth plan?
Yeah, we're making a few changes at the moment. What I want is we've been very what's the word I'm looking for? Not ad hoc, quite sporadic with each magazine. There's just been various interesting articles.
Yeah.
A little bit of metaverse, a little bit of NFTs, a little bit of tokens. We're actually now moving a lot more structure into the magazine. So every issue there will be a trading section.
Nice.
Every issue there will be a legal section, a tax section. There'll be a section on different blockchains, emerging technology.
Yeah.
So what I want is everyone that's buying the magazine to walk away and each time they read it go, I've just increased my potential to earn money in some capacity.
Yeah.
Or I've just reduced my chances of being scammed.
Yeah.
And the knowledge. And that there is worth £8 in the UK, $15 in the US.
Because also it means that people are going to buy the magazine and they're going to know they're going to increase their tax knowledge, they're going to increase their blockchain knowledge, they're going to know about the next project, and it's something to look forward to, isn't it? Because if you're in this space, I think people want to add to what their knowledge base is. Everybody wants to grow because everybody wants to make more money, and the only way to do that is to increase what you know.
100%. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
And that's it. And it's about getting people that are specialists, because I'm not a techie. I don't understand everything about. So it's about having people that are giving the content really at the top of their game, in our opinion. And we put a lot of thought into who we have write. I mean, I could have 100 different writers every issue. Just our emails go crazy with people going, would you need any I've got this I could supply, or that. And we don't need any editorial. We have a team of editors and writers that can give us any editorial. We want good editorial.
And we want coming from you because you're a trusted source.
Exactly.
100%.
What's been the hardest part of building a crypto media project?
Do you know, it's brand awareness. That's it. I still speak to people that say, we didn't know you existed. And this is where kind of the marketing side comes in. It's just getting the name out there. Because I genuinely believe, and I wouldn't do this unless I was passionate about everything that I'd done. And I genuinely believe this is one of the most trusted sources of information in the world.
Wow.
And it's most definitely one of the best marketing platforms for serious, genuine projects that want to build
in that space
a better industry.
Yeah.
Or a better business within the Web3
Yeah.
and blockchain industry.
Yeah, because it's like anything, isn't it? You can create the best product, but if nobody knows about it, then you're never going to sell it. And ultimately, you're filling your magazine full of great stuff, but your product is the magazine. So you've got to make sure that everybody knows it's there and available to go.
I mean, we
and
seem
read.
to be scaling massively at the minute. 3 issues ago, we was at 500,000 readers.
Oh, wow.
Per issue.
Yeah.
We're now averaging, again, just short of 700,000, so it's 695,000.
Yeah.
Party at 1 million?
Yeah, I mean, that could be a couple of months away. I mean,
That's so exciting.
Let's do it. You heard it in here first.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a moment where you thought, you know what, this might not work?
Do you know, I've never thought it won't work. And I suppose, I always say there's a fine line, isn't there, between confidence and arrogance.
Yeah.
I'm the least arrogant person. I'm just not. But I've always been confident in my abilities.
Yeah.
I think it might have entered my mind before we actually hit the shelves. But as soon as it hit the shelves, I'm like,
Game changer.
Do you know what? Yeah,
We're onto something here, like.
we made the right call. We
Yeah.
made the right decision. I mean, we've got Crypto Weekly as well, which is our digital brand, and we kind of put that on the back burner to focus more on Crypto Magazine. But Crypto Weekly is sitting on 300,000 subscribers on its own.
Nice.
That's a digital. It's free to subscribe to. But we just said, look, let's not produce this for the time being. Let's focus on one. When we get this, and actually the number we said, once we hit 1 million, then we can move and put a bit more focus back on Crypto Weekly. Because I think it's the physical print that has the value for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think one of the things that you said, like people going out there, I've been amazed how many people don't want to buy this online.
They want the physical
So they don't want a
magazine.
digital
They want to find it, and the words they use, we want to find it in the wild.
Yeah.
We want to go out and see crypto on a shelf.
Well, I've vlogged me doing that process,
Yeah.
right? So I was really excited to do that, wasn't I? Because for those of you who don't know, I've been taken on board with these guys, and I'm doing articles inside their magazine.
Yeah.
And the first edition I was in, I didn't want to wait for them to post me one, so I went to the shop, and that experience of going into the shop. It brought back a bit of nostalgia because I used to do that. Does that make sense? I haven't bought a magazine off a shelf. I think I might have done it in an airport potentially for a flight. I might have grabbed something, or I might have been looking for something in particular. But I can't remember actually going in to a WH Smith's or whatever it's now called. What's it called now? TJ Hughes or whatever it's called. TJ.
Yeah, TJ Hughes.
TJ, and I went in there and I picked it up, and actually it was a good experience, and I've vlogged me doing that.
Yeah.
So I do understand what you're saying, but are you sure there's not an element of people that would go, maybe even if it was like half the price or a quarter of the price, but they go, oh, do you know what? I'll buy a digital copy. Is that not a part of your business you would look at?
In what way?
Like a downloadable version.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, and again, when you look at this from a business point of view, when you make it downloadable and people can then share it, it then gets put into a room.
Yeah.
Here, guys, I've got it. Therefore, of the numbers that we can verify that read it become harder to verify.
Yeah.
We could have
an app
30 times the amount of readers, but we'd never know.
Yeah.
You'd never know who the real people are. Yeah, of course, that makes sense.
We actually find that when a new project goes into the magazine, whether they book a bit of editorial or some advertising, we find our readership increases again because you get everyone within that project, all of their holders, they want to go out and buy the copy.
Yeah.
But now they're looking at everything else in the magazine.
Yeah. And some of them will stay then as long-term readers because the natural that'll happen.
Yeah. And we then find that's when people have found it in the wild, they then go and subscribe online.
Yeah.
And then go, right, we now want to subscribe to 6 issues. So let's do that.
Talking about new projects that are going in your mag, and this is an important one because inside the crypto space, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Yes.
There's a lot of bad actors. And there's a lot of scams. Let's just you get the word out there. I know the algorithm doesn't like that word, but let's call it for what it is. There's a lot of scams out there. How do you filter out the crap to make sure that you've got good stuff in your content. By the way, I really went through a particular magazine of yours looking for an issue and I couldn't find one. So I know that I was looking for a problem.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do, right? And I was like, actually, this is really good.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, I bet this is going to be full of like scammy like meme, got an order, and it just wasn't, because that's what I was expecting. There's a part of me, half of me was expecting that. So how are you filtering this out? Because there's so many bad actors out there.
Do you know what? I speak personally as the CEO with every single advertiser.
Yeah.
If you don't speak to me, you do not get anywhere near my magazine. Because it's I'm fully doxed.
Yeah.
It's my name, a reputation that I've built up over 30 years on the line. And a lot of it I'll put down. There's no I get asked this a lot of the time, and people go like, what is your criteria? There isn't one. You can't put criteria. You can't use market cap as a criteria.
No.
Because everyone starts somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you'd done that, would you have taken Pepe at the beginning?
No. Yeah.
Where did that go?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I work a lot on gut feel. I put projects in front of my team and said, look, I've looked into this. They're a docs team. They're KYC'd. They've been involved on this. I've checked their LinkedIn. I've looked at this. I've spoke to them on a video call. What do you guys think? If they then come back and go, this is looking a little bit shady here, then we'll kind of look at it again. But it's not a given. And when we actually find that an advertiser gets into the magazine, they make a big song and dance about it. And they go, we've just been able to pay the crypto magazine to get in there.
Must be a good feeling that way, right?
Oh, it is.
So it feels like you're trusted in the space.
Yeah. I think we've got the trust there. Now, you'll always have the haters out there, and people go, "Oh, would you done that?" And I bet you're investing in them before they hit the magazine. Well, do you know, 9 times out of 10, I do. But the one thing I don't do is ever sell.
Yeah.
And I don't. Because how can I consciously go out and say, yep, I've just invested? Because if they're in the magazine, it means that we believe that they've got legs.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't the team invest in what we believe has legs? So
if you're filtering out the good and bad projects, why wouldn't you be taking your own leads, if you like?
Exactly. The one thing I don't is I never kind of say our team, like, you can't sell, because I think if people are fairly investing their own money, they should be able to sell.
Absolutely.
When they want to sell. Yeah. You shouldn't be victimised. That happens a lot in this industry.
Yeah.
People call you out and, that person dumped. Well, they invested like everyone else.
Yeah.
Why can't they sell?
Yeah. It's because the aim of the game is to buy when it's low and sell when it's high, and that's the reality, isn't it?
That's it.
That,
and then when it goes low again,
you buy again. Yeah, exactly. And you've been in this space for a while now. So talk to me about some of the highlights. What's been a real pinch me moment?
Oh wow! I mean, I've had so many. I mean, I'm in a privileged position, whereas we get to meet and collaborate with a lot of really good people. We was reached out by a guy. Well, it was Trip. He's actually part of our Liquid NFT team now, and he was running the metaverse and Web3 side for Kevin Hart, the comedian.
Okay.
And when he reached out and said, "Look, the team, the management, we really want Kevin Hart in this magazine," and you're like, "What? Whoa!" Like,
he knows about our magazine.
Yeah, this isn't like Kevin Hart down the road, is it? We are talking about the Kevin Hart. And things like that. And when we was reached out by, and I will say, the guy probably one of the most interesting guys I've spoken to, a guy called William Quigley, who's the founder of Tether, co-founder of Tether. And when his PR company reached out and said, "Look, would you be interested in us? Are there any costs?" And, no, like, it's William Quigley. He founded the largest traded token on the planet. Yeah. But I really found talking to him really interesting. Yeah. And actually the people that you meet in this space, especially having that title of the largest crypto magazine, you really get to meet good people. Yeah. Trust me, I've met a few not so great people.
Not so great, yeah.
But then you distance yourself very quickly and go, okay. But yeah, I mean, there's no particular one moment. I mean, I've made some, in the crypto industry as a whole, I've made some good trades. I've made some bad trades. Yeah. I don't get much time for trading these days.
Well, what about for the magazine? What's his biggest achievement, would you say?
Do you mean overall? As in,
up to you, could be anything.
I mean, its biggest achievement is being the largest printed.
Yeah, that is it. That's the one, isn't it? That is the one, isn't it? Literally the largest. Is it the largest printed crypto-related content?
I mean, you've got another title out there called Bitcoin Magazine, but it's Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Very tech heavy.
Yeah.
It's not a generic crypto title.
Yeah.
It's been bought and sold so many times. It's unbelievable. I think Vitalik started it, but. I mean, we're generic. So it's, well, not everyone's a Bitcoin maxi.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And
we all like Bitcoin.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, absolutely. But I think it was really interesting what you said earlier about there's a lot of people in Web3 and they talk a lot of tech speak, and then that doesn't translate to your average person. And we found that, didn't we, when we went to Zebu?
That's why they brought us in.
There was some awesome developers there, and they were talking to us about projects, and I had to stop several of them and go, I'm sorry, I've got no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I think bridging that gap between retail, who are buying crypto, and actually some people that are there developing these really good projects is a gap to be filled. And it sounds like you guys are doing a fantastic job of that.
People get embarrassed about that. People get
Yes.
embarrassed about going, sorry, I don't know what you're... Because they're in an industry.
Yeah.
And there are certain communities where you're actually made to feel bad. What are you even doing in this space? Because you don't understand. You're like, well, we all started somewhere.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's a bit easy.
When I was at Zebu, which is the largest Web3 conference in the UK, it's in London, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to the project lead of I'm not going to say which project, but a project lead of a pretty major project. And I started chatting to him, and he was like, do you know what? It just hasn't done the numbers we'd expected. And I was like, it's because nobody understands what you do. And he went, what do you mean? I was like, I've just been with you for nearly 15 minutes and I'm still not clear on what you do.
Yeah.
And he was like, what do you mean? I said, you're not communicating it to somebody that's not in your world. I said, people inside your world definitely understand you. Anybody outside of your world, and they're not, I mean, I'm half in your world, and even I'm not clear on what you do. Retail, no clue.
Yeah.
Zero clue.
Assumes.
It's that communication thing, isn't it? Which sometimes I think the super tech guys, they need a middleman to communicate what they do to the rest of the people, which is pretty much what your magazine is, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Everything I do is to make things simple.
Yeah.
And you're completely right. Everyone assumes that everyone else has the knowledge you have.
Yeah.
And we've all done it. We'll be listening to, I don't know, a TikTok or a YouTube or a Spaces, and you'll go, I don't like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
Because they're talking tech speak. Now, that's not going to resonate with the average Joe.
And people switch off, don't they? When they don't understand something, they just switch off and then they don't engage. And I think that we've talked about it many times on the podcast, but I really, really believe that this blockchain technology is going to be integrated into everybody's life, and they're not even going to realise it. And the ones that are going to be ahead of that game are the ones that are going to have a bit of knowledge. So the more people we can inspire to take that little leap and have a little bit of knowledge and then bridge the gap, I think that people are going to be better armed then.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think the space is ready for mass adoption yet. We're not ready, but I'm seeing more and more people coming into this industry. And the first thing we all hear when we talk to anyone crypto is, oh, I'd love to know. I just don't understand it. It all goes over my head. You go, how can we help them understand it? And this is what I loved about your TikTok when I first reached out to yourself. Was very, very just straight down the line. Well, this is it. There's nothing complicated about this.
Yeah.
Do this then.
Yeah.
Do that then.
Yeah.
And you go, it needs people to speaking their language.
Absolutely.
Because you'll find other people would try and communicate what I was saying, but they try to overcomplicate it to make themselves look clever.
Yeah.
And actually that puts retail off. So my approach is the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I try to take quite complex subjects and make it completely digestible for absolutely anybody. That's exactly what I try to do in my content.
Well, I think, you said that you don't think that we're ready for mass adoption. I think mass adoption will come under the guise of traditional finance, because
100%.
they will then integrate this, give you a product that looks exactly the same as what you've already got, and then all of a sudden you're using blockchain technology and you don't even realise it.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, you've hit the nail right on the head there. I've said so many times in keynote speeches and the kind of interviews that I've done is we need to build Web3 behind Web2. Too many people are, we are Web3. Look at this, look at that. It does this. This is how blockchain works. No one wants to know.
No.
does this earn me money?
Yeah.
That's it.
Nobody wants to
Can
know
I make
because
my
they don't
life
understand.
better with this?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I think if you can build
That's
it,
retail though.
yeah,
That's retail.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
That is retail. Because then you've got the other side of crypto where they're more, they want to understand and stuff. But it's a huge amount of people that just, like what you've just described, they just want to know if it's going to make them some money.
Yeah.
Nothing more,
Yeah.
nothing less.
So when you're in the magazine and you're getting all of these people approach you about either advertising or wanting to write articles, do you get to understand some of the narratives that are forming before they're forming? Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be amazed at what's being built.
Yeah.
I mean, amazed at some of the people I'm speaking with and what's being built in this space at the moment.
Yeah.
I was speaking with these guys 2-3 years ago, and I've watched them, and even then I'm going, okay, this is different.
Yeah.
And you guys probably have the same. You speak with people in the industry and go, ooh, this is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
And it's that moment when you go, wow, why is that not a thing?
Yeah. Or that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I speak to some people and I
Yeah.
think, that's definitely going to be a thing.
Yeah.
They're onto something. Yeah.
And we're kind of living that, we're watching everything unfold. And when you're in the industry, and I mean like in it, like you guys, like myself, we're watching history change in front of our eyes.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel that's exactly how I feel sometimes. Yeah.
And you look at it and go, like, this potentially could change the world. This isn't another website. This isn't another bank opening. It's not. This is potentially world-changing aspects coming to the forefront.
Absolutely. I'm really interested to understand, because obviously your magazine goes out to English-speaking countries primarily, but it's produced here in the UK. What's your opinion of the crypto UK space? Do you think that we've got the FCA, which are completely worried about anything that's risky? Do you think the regulations are too tight? Do you think the taxes are too tight? Is there enough innovators in this space here?
Yeah, I think there's more and more innovators coming into the industry. I'm not a regulation expert in the slightest, but I preferred what the UK was 5 years ago than I do to what it is today when you're talking regulatory and things like that. I think we're potentially moving towards overkill with the crypto asset reporting framework, CARF and things like that. But again, that's I think that's something that will evolve over time.
Yeah, because it was... Again, and I hark back to Zebu all the time because I learnt so much from going to that conference. Although it was primarily for Web3 developers and that wasn't necessarily my knowledge base, I still learned so much there. And Nigel Farage was talking there, and he was talking about creating something in the UK that was pro-crypto, because the worry is that if the regulations are so tight and the innovators leave, that leaves us behind for the rest of the world. And that's really interesting for me to try and understand, because you must work with projects based here in the UK and then projects throughout the world. And I know you can't necessarily compare apples and pears, but do you feel like the projects that are being created in the UK have got the legs that some of the projects outside of the UK are?
We've got in some really intelligent business people in the UK.
Yeah.
And one thing that I'm seeing, I don't know about you guys as well, I'm seeing more business people move into Web3.
Okay.
5 years ago, I didn't see that.
Right.
Yeah.
It was kids in basements.
Yeah.
It was someone that just decided to code something and make themselves a fortune. But now I'm seeing business people, and from the UK especially, kind of saying, well, I'm speaking to more and more UK people.
Okay.
I was in the minority 5-6 years ago. They're all Americans.
It's interesting you should say that, because on a previous episode, we had Jamie, which is the UK's leading award-winning crypto accountant.
Yeah.
And he said the same, very similar thing. So I was saying we were talking about like the high net worth, successful clients he's got. I was asking about if they're demanding, pretty much.
Yeah.
That was kind of the lines we were going down. And he said it depends. If they are crypto originals, no, because these guys made money sitting in mum's bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is, but what I've seen now is we've now started to see successful people from other worlds that have now come into crypto, and then they're going, my accountant can't do this. And then they're coming to me because that's a completely different type of client.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I've got a different type of person landing in crypto going, I have a crypto problem, but they're the people that I've never had to speak to before. Usually, he's talking to really humble people that are really grateful to talk to him because they've been in crypto forever and know there's very few people that can help them.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, you've got high demanding clients that are used to getting exactly what they want from an account whenever they want. They're landing with him and they're not understanding that actually there's a very few people you can go to. So when they're saying to me, well, you must do this now, and Jamie's going, no. And then they're realizing, oh, I've got nowhere else to go. And then they come back and they go, I told you. This is a very different demographic that's landing in crypto, which is pretty much what you're saying there, isn't it?
100%. And again, I mean, I've spoken to Jamie, really knowledgeable guy.
Yeah.
Incredibly.
I feel like you two have got a bromance going on because I set up a phone call with you two, and he rang me and he went, Matt, what a guy. Right? And then I spoke to you and you were like, Matt, what a guy. And I'm like, these two love each other.
It's just really refreshing. It's really refreshing to get someone that you speak with and go, not only are you knowledgeable, but actually you care about the industry.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? And it was a similar thing with yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, when we met and I got back and spoke to my wife, I was telling her like the similarities.
Yeah.
Obviously, I won't go into it here, but
Yeah.
it was like you'd go, oh yeah, but this is a bit about me, and I go, me too, and me, and I go, and me, and my grandparents have this many children, and mine.
It was insane, to be honest. They can have a whole podcast about that on its own, I think.
And I said, and my son's ginger. This is crazy.
This is so weird. No, it's good. It is good. So let's talk about the fact that right now, is there a story that's trending right now that you think that you're seeing a bit of a trend going on? Like you're starting to see something coming through. So for instance, I don't know, whatever it be. So at the moment we've been talking about trading automations, things like that.
Yeah.
Is there something else you're seeing starting to seep through at the moment that you're thinking, hang on, there's a few people mentioning the same thing here that's not a thing?
Yeah, I mean, nothing specifically, I suppose. I mean, again, trading automations and trading bots and AI tech, that seems to be where everything is. I mean, I heard recently, and don't take this as gospel because I've not fact checked anything, but I was speaking to a friend of mine who's very close to Sandeep, who's the founder of Polygon.
Right.
And he says he's just thrown 100 million, like his own funds, into an AI tech. And I'm like, everyone's just throwing ridiculous money into AI. It's like the gold rush. Everyone's rushing to try and get to get in there. But AI and trade, I mean, kind of listening to your podcast on trading and the automated side of things, it was it really interests me because I'm not a trader. And I've actually found that the more I've learned about trading, the less the less good I've become at it.
That can happen. That's common, by the way. That's a real common thing to happen.
When I got into this industry, I was making, just trading BNB, I was doing brilliant. But the more knowledgeable you become,
the more checks and measures you put in,
you start to hesitate and you start to not do that.
That's the thing. It's freezing. It's
How
a thing.
could I have been earning more trading then? With all the knowledge you've got now, and you're earning less. And I just take myself back to that.
So
and go, if I'm trading, I'm going to use that.
We've made we've done whole videos, whole podcasts on this because actually what'll happen is the more people know, the more elements they put into their decision making, the more mistakes they can actually make. And actually, a lot of people overcomplicate trading. Way overcomplicate. Now, I'm not saying knowing nothing is better and just randomly going, bye. I'm not saying that. But actually, sometimes it can do people a disservice. And sometimes I meet some really intelligent people, really knowledgeable in the space, and they are terrible traders. Absolutely terrible because they've just overcomplicated with all the, and I'll talk to them, I'll say, why have you put that, or why did you close that trade? And they'll talk at me and I'm like, whoa, they have so much going on in their brain all at the same time. I'm like, they're just trying to compute too many things all in one go, and it's just clouding their judgment. So what you've described is, honestly, mate, it's so common. So common.
We've got tens of thousands of people in our community, and like, as you know, we've got our own token. The reason for setting the token up was because people didn't really know when to buy, when to sell. So we said, well, let's set up a token that will always give you a return. And again, I've incredibly knowledgeable business people, but they've either not got the time to trade or They just don't know how to do it. They go, we just want to buy something and watch it go up in price.
Yeah.
But while you're doing that, and you then have traders that are trading it, it makes it harder for those people to earn, because these guys are selling the top.
Yeah, instead of
And
back down
pulling
again.
it back down again. And you go, how can you get around that?
Yeah.
Like, back to the business consultancy side, we need to solve this problem, and that's where the kind of our token come from, is to try and build that.
What's it called?
Ecos. We got two. We've got FUSD and FUST. FUSD is now, I'm going to change my wording on this because we're taking legal advice whether we can call this a stable coin or not. It is currently being marketed as an appreciating stable coin.
Okay.
So it doesn't just track the price of the dollar, it always increases.
Wow.
It just continue. And we've got FUST, which is more volatile, which you stake that into our miner and it pays out FUSD. So it will pay you out a token that always goes up.
Okay.
And 25% of all of our company profits we put in FUSD back into the miner for the FUST holders to earn.
Okay, interesting.
But again, we're unsure whether we can, I'm speaking, we're going, is this a stable? Because the current regulations is, well, a stable coin needs to be stable.
But this is why we're getting stablecoin regulation, isn't it?
Yeah.
To make sure people they know what apples is and know what pears are, rather than thinking you've got an apple and you've got a pear.
Yeah.
So actually, I think that's really good. I think that part of the regulations coming in is important.
Yeah.
And also it'll give you clarity.
Yeah.
So then you'll know what lane you sit in, especially if you've got something that might be considered a bit of a hybrid in some way.
Yeah.
Well,
Actually,
that's what it is,
and that's good for you to have clarity. So that in that instance, in the description, the example you've given there, I think clarity is a good thing.
Yeah. So from your position and seeing everything you're seeing, how do you feel about the market at the minute?
I mean, it's all over the shop at the moment, isn't it? It's up here, down there. Yeah, I mean, where we currently sit, I don't think we're at the top at all. I still think there's a pump. And I know that's quite a controversial statement because a lot of people go, oh, no, we've seen it. And everyone's got a different...
What, the top forever?
No, not the top forever.
Yeah.
Oh, no. No, I mean, of like this cycle. If cycles are even a thing yet,
Yeah.
I think we're so far
Cycles
out
are dead now.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
cycles.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of 4 or 5 years ago-ish, I was looking and saying, well, I reckon the top of the next run's going to be 170, 200 on Bitcoin. And as you know, a lot of other things will just follow Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But
Well, the whole market follows.
Yeah,
pretty
we
much.
haven't seen it. But again, you've got the wars in Iran and you kind of say, well,
Crypto's integrated now, isn't it? It's not it's not decentralized. It's not away from everything else. It is fully integrated into with all the AFTs and all the institutional money that's there. It is completely connected. If the stock market's going to crash, the crypto's going to crash. It's all connected. And I think the more people start to realize that, the more that there will be some acceptance. But I think you've still got this really hardcore element of crypto where people want the dream that it was decentralized. And I think people are still a little bit angry, aren't they, that it's gone down this route. But I just don't know how we're going to get the mass investment in crypto if we don't bring in the institutions.
I think there's a lot of institutional money in and more coming into the Web3 space. We've not even started.
No.
We've not, I mean, statistically 5% of the global population are in crypto.
Yeah.
5%. That means the largest possible market is not in crypto. I mean, 95% aren't.
Yeah.
Not
And that's
don't know anything about it.
exciting for the industry.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What we've got to do is to, and again, you guys are doing a great job as well, but between people like yourself, between the magazine and reputable media sources that are going out and saying, we're letting people know this is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's giving that reputable information that people can trust. And I've noticed so many people trust you guys as well.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. And I think there's a lot of creators out there that, because it's different. When you're a content creator, you get that buzz off of your video's gone viral, you've made this content and everybody wants to engage in it, doesn't necessarily mean you're creating the best content for people's knowledge base.
Yeah.
So I really hope that the content we create is going to add value to people, because that's the aim for us. But I think we need to get away from this idea of the dark web, and crypto is this guy in your basement in his hoodie, and that's what crypto is, because I think still a lot of people were fed that by the media maybe 20, 15, 10 years ago. And I think people still got to hang up over that, because maybe the newer generations that are coming through don't feel like that. But I mean, if we talk to people our age, very many people are not into crypto or don't want to be into crypto.
Absolutely.
They don't. I mean, I'm told so many times, friends of mine, they go, look, if I just give you 10, 20,000, can you? And I don't want to touch your money. Like, I've got enough stress with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't want your money at all. I'll sit down with you for an hour and I'll go, set up this wallet, do this, and these
And this
are
is why
safe.
crypto needs to be easier.
Yeah.
But it is easier now. Now we've got things like Coinbase and Crypto.com. It is a lot easier. Let's face it, they only need an email address and a password and they're in. Right? I mean, it's not ideal to leave it on there, and I advise every single person to take their crypto off exchanges and get it onto cold storage. However, you can just open up a Coinbase today and go and buy some crypto and just leave it there if you wanted to. But I'll tell you what I would be interested to talk to you about. It would be about retail. Right, because at the moment, retail, I don't mean retail as in shops, I mean retail as in crypto buyers, right? At the moment, they've all abandoned, they've gone, right? Because we're currently in a mass pullback. If you've just been doing those numbers that you're talking about during what is actually a pretty crap time for crypto, I wonder how many magazines you're going to flog when it's, say, 4 to 12 weeks after a Bitcoin peak.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing these numbers now, just think what happens when retail come back, and then the average Joe who's gone, I've just got into crypto.
Oh, there's a magazine.
I just bought some Bitcoin and I bought this thing called XLM, or I just bought some HBAR or some XRP, and they're going through WH Smith's or going through Asda or Tesco or whatever there is, wherever they're finding it, and they're going, bosh, the crypto magazine. That makes sense. I'd like that. Wonder how many extra units you're going to sell during a bull run. And I don't mean a tickle, I mean a proper one.
Yeah, I mean, bearing in mind, when we launched, was around the top. We've been only operating during the downturn. We've seen a little spike.
Can I tell you something?
Go on.
It's so fun.
It is.
Let me tell you now, I don't know how it would compute to physical sales of a magazine, but content for creators will go up maybe a 20x. At least. More? Okay, maybe a 30x on content numbers. It's monster. So even if you only took a quarter of that increase, even if you took a slither of that as an increase, you'd be like, well, I'll tell you what, I think if you're doing 700,000 in a when retail do not want to talk about crypto, when they can't help but want to consume, I think that's when your business is going to go crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we always put the downturn in the market because we've always increased in sales. Well, maybe this is people just looking for more reputable information. Maybe that's, but again, we're going through that period while there is more of an adoption in crypto as well. So it's hard for us to actually attribute anything, go, is this? But again, when the market starts to go parabolic, that would be really interesting to see. We run Donald Trump on the front cover of the...
I saw it.
You see that one?
See that episode, yeah.
And in the UK, our sales figures really dropped massively.
Really?
But skyrocketed in the US. So across the board, we was...
Would you consider different front covers for different countries then, knowing that can happen?
Yeah, I mean...
Don't put Keir Starmer on the front of your magazine. Let me tell you now.
Keir Starmer
do not
get nowhere near it. I'm not his biggest fan. But yeah.
Do you know anybody that is? Genuinely. including Labour lovers. Nobody likes Keir Starmer at the moment.
No, he's doing us no favours. But yeah, I mean, we've considered cover changes. We was actually approached not too long ago by someone who wanted to syndicate the magazine. Now that's pretty much.
I'm so sorry. What does syndicate mean?
It's like a licensing. So we would sell like a franchise, if you like.
Yeah.
We would sell the rights to this particular individual's in Dubai.
Yeah.
But he wanted to produce it for the Chinese market in Mandarin and Cantonese.
That's cool. I think.
Yeah, and again, what we would do is we would effectively, the content would be the same. They would translate the content into Chinese.
Yeah.
And they would sell, you would then have...
They sell the advertising.
Yeah, so we would have the Western edition, but then an advertiser could go, I'd like to book the Asian market as well. So it would be two separate advertising rates. But you do that, you could triple our readership over the course of an issue or two.
Yeah.
We could do the same with the Spanish market, because by the time we do hit South America and Spain, that's a lot of Spanish-speaking nations.
I mean, not a lot of people know in publishing this happens. The Sun, what you'll get in Birmingham is a different Sun to what we'll get in London.
I didn't know that.
I never knew that.
No.
Yeah. You have a North...
Oh, you mean the adverts?
And content and front covers sometimes.
Crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you have a northern and a southern edition.
Okay.
Because, of course, down south, they have a different mindset to up north.
Okay.
So they will change different elements of it, advertising, and on occasion some if everyone up north is worried about, I don't know, coal mines shutting back in
back
the 80s.
Day,
are they really bothered about it down in London?
Yeah.
So they have a north-south edition.
Would they just have interest? I mean, we're going off of crypto here. Would they just set my brain on one? So would they do the similar thing with maybe the sports article? So, for instance, if you had say the Sun, for instance, right? Would they make potentially a West Midlands club's football article slightly larger if it was being sold in the Midlands than if it was in the North?
No, it wouldn't be. Generally, you have the Birmingham is actually it's like that cut-off line between North and South.
Oh, okay.
They have that.
Right.
I only know this because I used to work for News International. But when you're looking at articles a bit bigger, but what they would do is, for example, you might have a local football club, Wolves, for argument's sake. One that you'll be familiar with.
I love Wolves. Not at the moment, about to get relegated. I've got a love-hate relationship at the moment.
But they might book an advert, or they might have an advertorial possibly about them. That would never go down south. They'd book it.
Right.
Say, I might as well go.
Never really thought about printing stuff, having different content for different regions. Never really thought about that.
But it makes complete sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it
and for you guys, I guess getting this content out to more readers in more markets, it's going to be, it's super important.
Surely you've got to get it in Spanish. If you're going to go to any language, surely Spanish should be the one, right?
Yeah, but I mean, generally, most Spanish-speaking nations
probably read
in English. It's I mean, you've got Chinese, you've got Arabic,
Arabic,
Indian, again.
I mean, that market would be huge. Indian.
Yeah. Well, especially now with that area, I know.
Well, India's already passed their rules, and Pakistan has just allowed it, haven't they, for crypto to be more acceptable.
When we do this in-house, the problem of actually doing this and kind of expanding in that way is that we need to have someone that speaks that language that you can translate, because when you're going English to Chinese or Chinese to English, it's not a literal translation. It makes no sense when you translate one straight to the other.
You can't Google Translate in a magazine.
No.
Well, that's it, because it just goes off topic completely. But so you need someone in that country. So that's when we can syndicate, license.
Yeah.
So we are looking at the possibility of saying, well, like, give that option to
That's
people.
really exciting for you guys as a brand, isn't it? It could be the real game changer, I guess. And obviously, markets turning. I hope that we might be seeing a bit of a turn. So you just never know.
Fingers crossed.
I'd like to see some kind of a social media post or an article that's in your magazine to go, we just bust 1 million.
Yes.
I'd love to see that. That'd be an exciting thing to see.
But to traders, does it matter to you, kind of the market? Because I've heard you guys go, well, actually, you can make money in a bad market.
Sometimes it's easy to make money on the market going down.
Yeah.
It's easier to spot.
So I actually, it depends what you're trading, and obviously with crypto, we've got so many different options. The last couple of months, there's for the big caps, it's kind of just trended sideways, and it's just a bit boring. It's not that you can't trade,
But
it's just a bit boring.
Every trader has banked wealth in crypto, so you want that to go up.
Yeah.
So you'd like to trade a pullback, but then you want it to go back up again.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's been awesome to have you
thank you for
here.
having
It's
me. I
been
thoroughly
so
enjoyed it.
interesting, and I think that this idea of print media, you kind of hit the nail on the head at the beginning. People are saying it's done, it's out, but you've made some really valid reasons as to why it's not, and that's really exciting. And I hope that the people that are watching this will go out and buy the magazine, because you guys deserve all the success that you get.
Can we maybe, because this is specifically targeted for the UK audience, but it might be worth, I would just say, if you're in the UK, where can you go? Name the biggest high street store potentially they can go to. I'm asking you to list everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
where's the obvious ones?
TJ Jones,
which is now that's the new brand name for WH Smith.
Yeah, and WH Smith, because WH Smiths are still there. They've still got their travel brand, and they've got some retail there as well.
Yeah. And if you're in America, what would be the obvious place to go to? We've actually got quite a few Americans like to watch us, even though it's the UK Crypto Podcast, which is hi American people.
Yeah, Barnes & Noble,
cool.
without a doubt, is our biggest supplier in the US.
Also, if anybody wants to order one online, we're going to put a link in the description so people can go and order one of your editions online as well.
However, get it through the post.
Get into the shops, man. Walk into a shop, find it on a shelf and buy it. Sit in the car and have a read.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you what we can maybe even do is I'll speak to the guys and see if we can get you your listeners a discount. See if we can
that would be
like a promo
amazing.
Code. Okay, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
So if you do manage to get us a promo code, then I'll drop it next to the link in the description. People can, they can get it like posted to the house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
amazing.
wicked, man. We'll do that.
Nathan, we really appreciate you coming on here and sharing your story. Massive respect for what you've built. And for everybody watching, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit like, drop a comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow and bring more guests like this onto the show. Also, don't forget, new episodes of the UK Crypto Podcast drop every Friday at 7 p.m. UK time. So make sure you're locked in. And if you want to take things a step further and be part of our community, come and check out the Crypto Wolfpack via the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.